One thing you got to know about me is that I love Jake Johnson. I love him as an actor, especially like in New Girl. He was so good. His voice acting is amazing, like in Spider Man, in like the Miles Morales movies. So good. So when I saw that he had a new movie out on Hulu, I was excited to watch it. And I'm going to go ahead and rate it 5 out of 10 stars. Like it was okay, not great. But as you guys will see here, my wife has a different take on it.
I thought it was one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Yeah, what'd you hate about it?
I It feels like a movie that like a bunch of little kids wrote for fun. It didn't have like the plot didn't make any sense. There was a lot of like this like introduce this idea and then don't talk about this idea again and then this contradict like it was it was a 0 out of 10 for me. I actually hated all of it. It was such a waste of time and it felt so long.
It was an hour and a half, but Tally complained that it felt like we were going on 4 hours.
Well, about an hour into the movie, I thought we'd been watching for at least 2 hours.
Yeah. Um,
It
did, did,
was the most obnoxious humor, like, none of it was it was, like I don't know, it was just so unfunny. I'm mad we watched it.
it actually put you in a pretty bad mood afterwards.
It did. I was, like, mad at Trey that we watched it.
My bad. So, um, if you're thinking of a movie to watch, maybe steer clear of Self-Reliance. All right. So I have occasionally had my son make some, um, what's the word I'm looking for here? Some unintentional appearances on the podcast, but we're going to try to see if he'll talk into the mic for us. Can you say go? Anything else you want to say? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Colby. Can you say Carl? So I've been looking at different tattoos and ideas. Um, and my wife really has stuck in her mind this idea for a tattoo that she really, really wants me to get. And to her, it doesn't matter where it goes on my body. She just wants me to get this tattoo in particular. Do you want to tell them what it is?
So, I think it would be cool on your thigh or on your shoulder, honestly, but I wanna bite him, like, just enough that it leaves, like, the teeth marks or whatever, and then him, like, get a tattoo of that. I think that's awesome.
I
Because
don't
if
know.
we ever split up, like, it's not like, oh, like, someone sees it and they're like, "Oh, that's your wife's name." It's just like it just looks like a bite.
What I'll do is I'll just cross it out and have my new like girlfriend or wife like bite over it and then go get that tattooed. And then if like me and that chick break up, then I'll cross it out and have the new one. And that way I have like multiple levels of.
I think it's a cool tattoo.
I think it is. That's just as bad as getting a portrait or like a name.
I don't know. I think it's
But
cool. I've seen someone do it.
do you want to name drop who that was?
Someone on
Oh,
TikTok.
gotcha. That
I
is a
have no
that is
idea.
a terrible tattoo.
If I ever see anything, honestly, it's probably from TikTok. If I'm ever like, "I read this article," it's I didn't read an article, I saw a TikTok.
So really quick, I know that we were only going to talk about the tattoo, but I want to get this down in recording. It is January 20th at 5:56 p.m. And you just told me that Taylor Swift's inner circle have all gone to social media and changed their profile pictures to black and white.
So not like some of the that's the thing is like some of the less crucial members have, but then some of the more crucial members haven't. Like Travis has.
Yeah.
Travis is black and white. Blake Lively's black and white, but see Ryan Reynolds isn't black and white. Kaylee Teller's Black and White. Um,
What about Taylor Swift?
no, she's still I'm pretty sure she still has, like, the Midnights.
She does. I checked. I just wanted to see if you had done your homework or not.
Yeah, I'll usually know what her profile picture is.
Okay. All right. Well, you heard it here. Um, this is the soft launch for Taylor Swift's version of Reputation. Look what you made me do. I have for you guys today that a fun little story time, if you will. Not my stories. I've collected a couple different stories from a couple different people, and we're gonna see which one you guys like the best. So I'll preface it with this. These are stories from people submitting these to me via social media, um, and I'm going to try to share these in an anonymous manner. If you happen to know who this person is, let's just not go after them. Um, but I put on my story, um, a little poll, I guess you could say, a question, better said, of your worst first date experiences. And I was pretty appreciative of the feedback that I got. So for those of you who contributed, I am extremely grateful. And we'll be having more of these going forward. But we'll start with Facebook because I had less responses there, which makes sense. Um, my my friend group is a little bit older on Facebook, so I'm sure they probably don't look at stories anyways. um, but yeah, so this one comes from a friend of mine who lives on the other side of the world, and let's get into um, what they said here. So let's see if I can open this up. Oh, here we go. So this one's a short one. It just says she came out of the closet when we sat down to eat. So um, knowing this guy, he's probably sitting down with someone that he's somewhat interested in getting to know and is probably somewhat interested in seeing more often than not. And to sit down and there's nothing wrong with sitting down with someone and having them come out to you. Like I think that's pretty impressive that you have that kind of rapport, or even if you didn't know this person ahead of time. I think it's really cool that you have that presence about you that is trustworthy enough for someone to come out to you sitting down to eat. The only thing I have to say about this is I sincerely hope that this wasn't like a you guys sat down to eat, she knew that you were into her, and she was like, "Actually, I'm a lesbian." So, um, I sincerely hope that it truly was the first, part where, you know, you just have that trusting, personality about you that people can trust you and feel comfortable sharing with you. But if that was my first date, dude, I would be struggling. So now as I swing over to Instagram, let's get into these stories. So this one, um, at the end of the date, I tried to kiss her before I dropped her off and forgot to put the vehicle in park. Um, that's one way to get the relationship rolling. Terrible pun, but that was so bad. Um, but I know this person personally, obviously, and I don't think that they've ever been in an accident. So obviously, you caught yourself in time. Um, However, if I were her, I don't know if I would have ever gotten in a vehicle with you again, just for the sake of, do you know how to put your vehicle in park? And like I said, I know who this person is. I know that they know how to put a vehicle in park, but maybe she didn't. I'd be interested to know how that played out. So let's move on to another one. So this is kind of a three-parter. They ran out of space, so they had to send me a couple different ones. So part one, this dude took me to Walmart to play hide and seek, and then he crawled around Walmart. That's disgusting. Even in the cleanest Walmart, like nothing against the employees, nothing against Walmart itself, but people who are going to Walmart are disgusting, myself included. And like we have crap all over our shoes, and who knows where we've been walking. And to crawl around on the ground like that at Walmart is just that is so gross. Part two. So as he was crawling around Walmart, he was barking like a dog. Nope. No. I couldn't do that. And knowing this person, I can't imagine that she ever spoke to this person again. Um, Continuing on with part two. Oh, and his dad had to drive us everywhere because he didn't have his license. At that point, you don't ask someone out if you cannot transport them. Or at the very least, if you are super into this person and you want to shoot your shot, at least ask them to drive. There is no way on God's beautiful earth that I would ever have asked either of my parents to ever drive me on a date or even to just go and hang out with somebody. Um, that sounds like one of the worst things that could have ever happened. And to this person, I apologize on behalf of the male part of the species, the male gender, um, because I have seen I haven't seen this exact uh, you know this exact type of behavior, but I've seen similar. And men, we've got to be better. That's just sad. This one, any date involving a basement and Nacho Libre style movies. This one kind of hurts my feelings because this sounds like a good date. Um, you go to the basement, it's nice and cool. Like even in the wintertime when you want to be warm, like just like like a cool basement. And when I say cool, I mean like temperature wise cool, like a cool basement, even in the cold wintertime, like just feels good. And then Nacho Libre, great movie. Napoleon Dynamite's another one I feel like probably fits in this category. Great movie. Dumb and Dumber, great movie. Ridiculous Six was one that I feel like this person's probably thinking of. Great movie. So maybe you just need to go back and reevaluate what your dates are. Now, if this was an every date, like if someone's asking you on a date repeatedly and you say yes and you go and do this, and then you say yes again and you do this again and again, um, then yeah, it's a bad experience. Now, on to my favorite. I got to get into my DMs for this one because somebody sent me a book and I love it. All right. Oh, sorry. Just starting to read this is already making me laugh. All right. So I had matched with this guy on Mutual earlier this day, and he seemed nice enough. He was a college volleyball player and a cowboy. I grew up around both of those things, so I was like, sweet, he's totally my type. He picked me up in his old truck and he was pretty cute. We just drove around for a few hours and hung out. We went and got food and then went to the gas station to gas up his truck. We had totally hit it off. We loved the same music, shows, movies, and hobbies. Um, for if I have like a younger listening, which I doubt that I do, um, but if you're like still in the dating realm and a guy has all the same like all the same hobbies and loves the same music and shows and movies and stuff, he's lying. Even if he likes 1 or 2 of the things that you like, he's lying. Um, because yeah, not that Not that you have bad taste in music or anything. I just that's one of the oldest tricks in the book to be like, "Oh, yeah, I love that too." Even if you have no idea what it is, just say nod and say yes. Um, but yeah, we made plans to play volleyball together and ride his horses. Fun. But then he kissed me. So far, so good. Um, but going on, and when I say that this was the worst kiss of my life, I'm not exaggerating. I've kissed a lot of guys, but this one left a mark. Literally, I think I have scars in my mouth. He bit and gnawed on my lips so much that I teared up. I had to pull away so many times. He would just laugh and be like, "Oh, sorry if I bruise your lips. I tend to do that to girls." I tend to do that to girls. It would have been one thing if he was 100% oblivious to this. Not that it's okay, but if he's oblivious to the fact that he is mauling women, then it's like you can't necessarily blame him. He's not kissing enough people or people are not telling him. But if he knows that he is mauling these women's faces, that's I don't know. I feel like he should do some jail time. Like that is assault, like by the definition. Um, Especially laughing about it, like, my bad." Like, no, that is horrible, horrible behavior. Um, so continuing on, I was instantly freaked out, rightfully so. I made up an excuse and he took me home. When I got home, I tried to avoid my roommate, but she got a glimpse of my face and gasped. If it's that bad that if you're trying to hide it and your roommate can see just enough of it and still be freaked out, like, dude, you are messed up. And to the person who sent me this story, if you would like me to go after this guy, we can get him locked up. This is ridiculous. This kind of guy does not need to be out on the streets. um, she would not leave me alone until I finally told her what happened. We were both dying laughing. I was so embarrassed though. Then, and she put caps, all caps then, he texted me. Straight up, he was like, "This might come off strong, but I'm just going to say it. I think you're the one. Like I want to marry you." My wife and I, our relationship moved pretty fast. Um, However, I don't think any good relationship has started with night one being like, "You're the one." Even if you feel like that, if you think that to yourself, it should stay there in your thoughts for a while. Don't No one wants to hear that, especially the other person. And we're gonna find out why he said that. Um, and I was like, you're cool and I like you, but let's take this slow, sir." And he was like, "Okay, but let's hang out tomorrow." And then in parentheses, he proceeded to tell me multiple times that Heavenly Father had told him I was the one. So I grew up attending the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And one of the pressures of growing up in that religion is that you get married quick, right? Like no need to wait around, no need to waste time. Like once you're dating and you find the one, you know, sign on the line, get it done, start your family. Like, don't wait, don't dilly dally, don't waste time, just get it done. And I I can in part understand that. Typically, young men are not bright, and they tend to do stupid things. And so, I think the hope is find a wife, get mature, and start a family, and that should keep you out of trouble. But at the same time, that is not a young woman's thing to have to deal with. And at the same time, anyone who is using the ruse of, Heavenly Father, or I feel the Holy Ghost, or whatever, telling me that you're the one, is 100% full of it if it's within the first 3 months. And especially night one, that is just horrendous and a terrible thing to say to somebody, because even if they don't believe it, which I know that this person didn't feel that way, you're still making them like think like, wow, like you're gonna say that to me, put that kind of pressure on me. That's just messed up. But anyways, um, continuing on, the next day I woke up and I literally looked like that one monster from Monsters Inc. with the big blue lips. Oh, after the suction machine. Oh goodness. My lips were so bruised that they were numb. I had to call out sick the next day to work. It was that bad. He ended up coming over and he even bought me groceries. He was super nice and all, but he gave me the ick so bad. I haven't met him, but he is giving me not just the ick vibes, he is giving me um I'll probably bleep this out, but he is giving me vibes. And for those of you that are wondering what the bleep's about, just know that he's giving me like non-consensual ick vibes. Um, I couldn't get over it. He'd weirded me out so bad. And then last part, he kept asking me when I wanted to meet his parents and if he could come meet mine. And I had known this dude for less than 24 hours. When he left my house, I ended up blocking his number instantly. He popped up on my recommended people on Facebook a month later, and he was already engaged to another girl. I'm happy he found someone else so fast, but I'm happy it wasn't me. I'm extremely happy that it wasn't you. And I'm extremely sad for her, the new lady, because she probably felt obligated to stick with you, because I guarantee you she got the same line. Um, so maybe let's get in touch with the police and let's just get him checked out. I'm sure there's a lot of unsolved murders and other cases that he might be linked to. And I say that jokingly, of course, but there's a little worry in my mind on that. Um, and then I'll end this episode with my worst first date story. If you've listened to my other podcast, um, Tender Mercies podcast, you'll probably or you'll remember the story or at least recognize it. Um, and it's for me, it's the worst first date, not because of anyone else, including this girl, but me. Like I made this the worst first date ever, and like I still like am upset with myself about it to this day. We had gone to Utah to spend some time with my cousins up there. Um, and long story short, my cousin wanted to go on a date with this one girl that he knew from high school. He was leaving to go on his mission, like in less than a week. It was going to be the last time I think he was maybe getting set apart the next day. So it was like the last time he'd be able to hang out with anybody of the opposite sex before he went on his mission. And so he wanted to go hang out with her. His mom was like, "Nope, you're not hanging out with her unless Trey goes with you." And earlier that day, I had injured my foot pretty bad. I was in a boot. I was in a lot of pain, like enough that I had pain pills, and I was in a terrible, terrible mood. I did not want to go, but I also knew the situation that my cousin was in that, as a bro, it was my obligation and duty to step up and fill in and go with him. And so he was like, dude, I'll make sure that it's not just the three of us. I'll make sure she brings a friend. And they so we go to this outdoor theater in Utah. and I believe it's the summer when The Secret Life of Pets came out. So we're watching The Secret Life of Pets, I believe, and we're in the back of the truck, my cousin's truck, um, 4 of us wide, and nobody was, like, fat. Everyone was quite healthy. I was probably, like, the biggest, but it's a small truck, and we were, like, tightly packed across the back. And you have to remember, I'm in a boot on my left foot, and so I'm, like, already uncomfortable enough as it is. My cousin and this girl are all over each other and kissing each other, and it's fine, it's fun, whatever. At one point, I look to my left. I'm the furthest left, and I look out of the truck left, and 2 cars over is my mom, my sisters, and my aunt, the mother of my cousin who was next to, or, down, on the other end of the truck with this girl. And anyways, I, in the middle of this date, had to go get some ibuprofen, some pain pills or something to just get me through this movie. And she and the girl that was brought for me, um, bless her heart, she tried so hard to have fun. And I think under normal circumstances, I think that I would have also been a lot more fun. Um, but she tried so hard and I just was not having it. I was so miserable. And if she, if she's out there, Chanel was her name. Chanel, if you're out there and you ever listen to this, just know that I'm sorry because man, that was terrible. Um, she, just tried to have conversation with me and I was in so much pain. I ignored her sometimes. Um, and even if I did answer, it was 1 to 2 words. I wasn't reciprocating in the sense of like I wasn't asking questions back. Like, not even the, "Oh, and you?" Like, just it was horrendous. Um, but yeah, so that was probably my worst first date story. I don't even know if I could even count that as a date because as soon as the movie ended, she got out of the truck and went to her car. I hobbled over to my mom's vehicle and got in there, and yeah, so there was the end of that story. Um, if you guys, wouldn't mind, send me a DM of your favorite stories. Let me know if you have any others. And let me know if there's any other funny stories out there that you would love for the world to know, but maybe you just don't want them to know it was you. We'll keep it 100% anonymous for you. Um, Other than that, I'm still trying to work on some interviews. I'm not getting the responses back from people that I would like. I've had a couple ideas for some other guests that we could have, and so I'm gonna reach out to them, and hopefully we start getting some guests on here because that was kind of my goals. I want to interview people that I think are interesting and hear their stories. So, anyways, this has been another episode number 3, I believe, of You're Alone with Trey Schneider. And I hope you all have a fantastic week, and I will see you next week.